You guys, when I talk about meditation, which is the whole, all of the work at some level has to do with understanding ourselves from a meditative standpoint. But I just want to make sure we're clear about what meditation means. Meditation isn't just about going within, although that is to me, like I said last night, it's the direct line to get to self. And I think everybody's talking about it now, oh my God, all over the world, from Oprah to everybody is talking about meditation in some form. So I think you need to find something that works for you in a process of being still. But the thing about New York is everything can be a meditation when you bring insight and awareness to the human condition, which is yourself being human out with other human beings. So driving here in LA can be a meditation when you're stuck in traffic. Asking somebody out on a date can be a meditation when you get rejected. You know, standing in line at a Starbucks in front of a crazy person, which is the other day happened. Like, you know, it's constantly an opportunity to like get a little bit more present and also become more objective about your life circumstances so that you don't get triggered. Now, that's ironic because all the work wants to be about getting triggered in a very aggressive way. Because then you have to let go of control. Well, perfect segue. Because the second part about this is, so I'm in New York, and I find New York to be a process of me sort of meditating about a lot of things. And so this whole thing about control that came up for me is, I was like, oh God, all our incarnations are about having so much control and wanting to exercise and dominate control in subtle and aggressive ways. And when you're in New York, you can't really do it. You can, but for me what I discovered is like I was walking to the studio one night, and of course there were people walking really slow in front of me, right? And it's like that classic New York thing where you're like, you want to throw them and push them into a bus. And like, you want to do lots of things that are actually, you know, I think normal responses to human behavior that makes you lose control. Now, they're not, you know, they're not appropriate responses. I'm being glib about that. I'm talking about when you're not able to see it from a meditative perspective. And so what I realized and what I talked about last night was this thing about control, which is, listen, all control is about any aspect in your life. This is all control is about, is trying to keep the feelings that control is actually keeping at bay, which are your feelings of vulnerability, being exposed, being seen, actually just being human. We don't want to go there. We feel sensitive and fragile being there. And so we spend an inordinate amount of energy to put on clamps of control so that we don't have to feel, which is actually our natural state. Which actually, vulnerability, you've heard me talk about, lecture out over and over again, is actually the most empowered state you can be in. And then I thought about this whole thing about control that I've never thought of before, is the irony is when we're trying to put down these clamps of control in such an aggressive way, what it actually causes you is pain and suffering. Stress, ill health, disconnection, anger and upset, all because things that are essentially uncontrollable we're trying to squeeze and make work based on an agenda or an idea or how it should look. Think about it. You want to try to control somebody in a relationship. How's that working out? It doesn't work out. The girls are like, yeah. Yes, that's true. It doesn't work. Try it. You're at work or you know, whatever, and you come home and your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband or wife says, how is work? And you're like, God, it's so stressed out. Why is it so stressed out? At one level, some of the stress is being contributed by we try to control things that if we could just allow, it would just do this to you. That would naturally happen. So we're actually in, I think, a controlling culture. It's okay. It's how we're hardwired. So what I want us to just become a little bit more aware of this week is when you want to try to exercise control, what if you just tried to allow? It is so hard, but you guys are doing it. You do it brilliantly in the work. And I want to end with two things. One is, to me, of all the things that I'm reading always, but more and more and more and more and more, my God, these conversations that actors are having, is always about the let go. I was reading Olga Kurylenko is, and I tweeted about this last week, but Olga Kurylenko is in what's his name? He just did The Tree of Life. Terrence Malick's new movie. And she said, I'm paraphrasing here, but she said it was a terrifying and yet life-changing experience for her because all of the work is about not planning, not preparing. He takes the script away from them. He doesn't let them play ideas. In fact, they don't really even have any kind of rehearsal process. And she says it's so scary because you're being thrown into the moment in a way in which you can't control. Janet Jackson sang about it. Control. You can't do it. And what it ends up doing is, she says most actors are absolutely freaked out by it, but she said it actually leads to the most exhilarating work. So she said she loves it. I think we all desire it. That's what we're desiring in this thing called acting. You just have to keep giving up a modicum of control to get there. What you're doing beautifully, but I'm also talking about in your life, myself included. When I get stressed, it's about avoiding and pushing out just what wants to be. And I'm just going to end with this thing that I tweeted because I think it has a correlation to this. I'm all into tweeting now. The thing you're pushing against sticks to you. The thing that you're resisting, the thing that you're trying to control, the thing that you're pushing away, the thing that you don't want to look at but you really are giving energy to by looking at, is like... So it actually compounds and expands the problem. It's giving more energy to it. And it creates its own vicious cycle, I think. So this week, just take a look at where can you just let go of control a little bit more. That's how we become a little bit more happy. It's true, science is all behind it. See if you can do it. Allowance. Allowance. Like the thing your parents gave you when you were 7 years old. Do they even do that anymore? I don't know.